But first, do any of you think the internet has become little more than a bully's playground? Because while the web offers the little man and woman in the street the power of global communication, I find it fascinating that once given that power, we seem so keen to abuse it. Is it only celebrities or public figures who come in for a virtual pasting? Of course not. The Association of Teachers and Lecturers, they say their members are increasingly being smeared online. Students at the University of Bradford, they created a Facebook page about a lecture entitled Annie Smith is a and listed abusive comments about her. A 19-year-old Ted Nash famously set up the Little Gossip website where users basically slagged off anyone and anything. There was a Cheltenham Ladies College student who was accused of bedding 45 boys. Was she a legend or a slut, was one of the questions asked online. And my personal favourite Little Gossip story was about a student at Glyn Technology sixth form in Surrey. What a filthy, ugly... See you next Thursday. You have no friends apart from the other filthy chavs you associate with. Disgusting creature. Your parents want you to die and you got banged up. Nash sold this site to a South American company that later had to shut up shop following a string of complaints, and Nash later said he'd been naive. What about high-profile sites like Mumsnet, a personal favourite of Gordon Brown, who famously couldn't remember what his favourite biscuits were when interviewed on behalf of their 850,000 members? When a new poster complained about bad language on the site, responses included, and I'm quoting, I have to be very careful, "Off you, F, dearie, F off and get a life, and grow up, you sound like my brats." And there are at least 10 abusive threads specifically about me on the site, all of which are too rude to mention. So, thanks for that, Eric. So why, when given the freedom to communicate with the rest of the world, do so many of us abuse that power? Is it all to do with the anonymity we get online? You can say things about people you wouldn't dare say to their face. And which, of course, leads to scum defacing the Facebook memorial page of Natasha McBride, who we talked about yesterday, killed herself because of bullying. Actually, I'm going to start with you, Anne, because I was looking you up online.
Oh, gosh.
This is after you criticised violent computer games.
Oh, yeah, no, that was unbelievable.
So all these gamers came online. Yeah. I propose Anne Diamond should be banned from eating crisps. What a pig. Fozzie Bear, the thing Anne, the fat bitch. And this is just the stuff I can read.
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're in the public eye.
Yeah, so... and I stick my head above the parapet and say things sometimes, so you can expect a lot of comment. But what I am staggered about, because I do a lot of writing for newspapers, and if I ever look at what I've written online as opposed to in the newspaper...
The comments.
You see the comments.
Yeah.
And some of the... I am astonished, and this isn't just me, I then look at other people's as well. I am astonished by how cowardly and scummy some of those people are. It's, I mean, and you think, how come they've got that much time to actually want to sit at the computer and just be nasty all the time? Because it takes time.
So why? Why?
And it isn't just
why
me
do they do
it?
it?
It's cowardly, and I'm really revolted and terribly depressed by how many people have sunk into this trap of being, because it's so easy to be cowardly and disgusting and horrible online.
But why?
You don't have
why
to
do
face
we
the
choose...
consequences of what you say.
Why do we choose evil?
If you want to be
over
rude
good?
to somebody, you have to actually face... I mean, if you want to be rude to somebody face to face, in the olden days, you would have to actually say it to their face and take it back. You'd have to be big enough to take what they threw back at you. You don't have to be now. You can be cowardly.
But why? Why are we drawn to this?
I guess the reason why is people are sitting there and they're disenfranchised, they're frustrated, they don't have a voice, and it spills out in this gruesome way.
By the way, I found one about you as well, Stefan.
Oh, thank you.
This is from David H. on the NT3A forum. Stefan Gates, stop making cookery shows, you Jeremy Hunt. Well, he didn't actually say Jeremy Hunt, but I think our older viewers might know what I'm talking about. You must be thrilled.
do you know, I'm quite pleased that I've been mentioned. You know, all publicity is publicity. But you know, I guess people are sitting there and you have this casing, don't you? It's a bit like road rage. You know, when you're in your car, you can hoot and you can shout and you can flick your fingers.
But you were saying, why would you want to? Why do you want to be unkind? That's what's depressing, is so many people seem to want to be unkind.
I can see Johnny agreeing with you, though, Stefan, when you were saying about people being disenfranchised.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that's the key thing. I mean, I'm very proud to say I'm not on Facebook, and, you know, if one of the kids I work with in MI High, I mean, they find that sort of anathema, they can't believe it. But, I mean, I think a lot of these social...
Why aren't you on Facebook?
Because I think it's quite sinister, actually. I mean, I think certainly for young people, I think the idea of forming relationships is part of defining who you are. You learn at a certain age in your teens whether you either have to accept who you are like me, or you know, or you try and sort of moderate your behaviour to sort of lead his way into relationships that you kind of want to be involved in.
But that's like the handwriting versus computer argument, isn't it? That's how it was.
No, but I think that you lose a skill. If you start to make friends on the internet, you don't have to make... You can pretend to be something you're not, and you can sort of make these connections and think they're satisfactory. Well, actually, that's an important challenge in life to make those connections.
Why, when we have... It's just... It's a simple choice. As you start typing your blog, you can write something positive and you can write something negative. And I'm fascinated as to whether it actually suggests that human beings, far from being born neutral or good, whether actually a serious part of our makeup is evil or nasty or vile.
But, I mean, we wouldn't be sat here and having a discussion about all the nice stuff that people put on the internet. I mean, it's an outlet for it, and people, you know, they write nasty stuff. And I'm sure...
Mumsnet, you know, Mumsnet is supposed to be a community for mothers, OK? So you'd think mothers, nurturers... creators, investors in the human race, and it's, I mean, leaving the literacy to one side, some of the stuff is vile.
Well, there's mothers who should probably be spending more time looking after their kids and playing on the computer.
Point.
But you know, it's a strange thing. I mean, I think if it gives people an outlet, I'm sure most of it isn't as sinister as, you know, you can read and go, that's grotesque, but I'm sure no one's really offended by it. If it becomes something practical, that kind of thing's existed before. I mean, it's an outlet.
I had some death threats after I made this programme.
And I've apologised, Stefan.
Yeah, and I have to say, he apologised. No, but what happened was the BBC followed up the death threats and they contacted the guy and said, do you realise what you've done? And it was really interesting because he wrote back and apologised. And it was almost like a sort of a journey for him to go through. And he said, I'm really sorry, I was really angry at what I'd seen. And I understand that what I said could be taken as something really important. And that apology was quite a revelation to me, that somebody had went through that, angry, disenfranchised, frustrated.
What a waste of police time that they have to do
if
that.
If the internet had never been there and he'd wanted to get it off his chest and write a letter, I suppose the time it takes to write it down, put it in an envelope, go buy a stamp and put it in the...
come round and
smack the wife, you know, and then doing that. I mean, is that maybe, you know, is that what it, you know, that maybe people take some kind of...
There is so much hate out there. I mean, I have to say there's a lot of lovely people too, but it is amazing how much hate there is.
OK, let's throw it open to you. Anyone else feel that the internet is overrun by bullies? Kirsty.
OK, we'll take Francine first on line 1.
Morning, Francine.
Good morning, Matthew. Morning, everybody.
Morning. So, go on then, fire away.
I run a campaign called Turn Your Back on Page 3 on Facebook.
Right.
And as Anne will know, feminists cop it completely in cyberspace. And I don't know if you're aware of what's called trolling in cyberspace, but somebody will catch on to the fact that you're anti-Page 3, anti-pornography, and promoting feminism, and they come and bombard your page with the most evil comments. So recently, in the last couple of days, I've had women deserve to be raped. We've had pictures up of women being beaten up saying she deserves this. YouTube videos, how to slap women. And so basically, last night, people were getting distressed on my page, so I thought, right, I'm going to phone the police about this, rather than going to Facebook, which is, to even get a contact number on Facebook is almost impossible. So I phoned the police last night, and they took it very seriously. They called it malicious communication, and they are launching an investigation into it. They're monitoring the page for a few days. They're going to be phoning me back in a few days. Fortunately, for the feminists on my page, we've been taking photos of all the comments. And these people aren't coming on as anonymous. They're just stupid. They're coming on as themselves.
Why are they doing it, Francine? What makes somebody...
Exactly.
Why?
What makes human society is failing them somewhere, that human beings have this amount of hatred in them. This is what I was asking them last night on my page. Why are you doing this? They said, well, it's just funny. So you think rape and domestic violence is funny? And then actually they do, because they were slipping up. They were saying, yes, it is. We all... And then they were retracting because they caught wind that we had involved the police. They caught wind that we were going to go to their schools and their colleges, because they were listed, if you go on their profile. We can catch these people, by the way.
Good. I'm going to cut you off in your prime there. I'm going to say, first of all, thank you for mentioning your campaign. I will be checking out myself as soon as I come off online. And don't let the bullies stop you. Thank you.
OK, we have Mike next on line 2.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
So why are people... Morning. Why are people doing this stuff? Why is there so much hatred online?
It's simple, really, Matthew, it's anonymity. People think that they can get away with whatever they like and that there will be no redress in relation to their comments.
Does that mean that... Well, why, if we're allowed to do anything we like, OK, if you've got total freedom, why do we choose to be horrible?
Yeah. Because these are the types of individuals who have, I would say, a lot of pent-up anger or dissatisfaction with their own shortcomings, and decide to try to see if they can belittle and make other people feel as low as they probably are.
So straightforward, I mean, that is the definition of a bully, isn't it? So it's straightforward bullying.
That's all it is. But what they don't seem to understand is that everybody can be traced. Now, I won't mention the name, but there was a specific... we had that poor incident yesterday of the girl, Natasha, and 2 young children.
Oh, yeah, no, that one, yeah.
And I was on a particular website, and there was some ridiculous remarks being made. And it was just hurtful, and some of the remarks by the same person, racist. You know, you go ahead, you report them, and at the end of the day, it's for the internet companies, for the people that run these pages, to sort it out and block access.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know, because I know, not just from our previous caller, Francine, but from other friends, that the police do take these things very seriously. But as I said to Stefan, and I don't mean it facetiously at all, it can't be right that the old Bill are spending so much time chasing up these submoronic threats. Mike, thank you. I want to get one more in if we can.
OK, we have Andrea on line 3.
Andrea, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good.
So, what do you know about bullying on the internet?
Well, at the moment, I'm in the middle of trying to get a page removed from Facebook. It's actually my ex-husband has set up a Facebook profile claiming that I've abducted the children and that I'm, a criminal. And it's quite a complicated issue. He was removed from the family 2 years ago for domestic violence.
Right.
And now he's obviously trying to find us.
And how are Facebook responding?
I've heard nothing. I've complained on so many levels about the fact that it's underage children on the profile, the fact that, it's inappropriate content, inappropriate images of my children being placed online with all the details, leaving them wide open to any kind of predators out there,
It's terrible, yeah.
Look, and not only that, the gossip is now spreading its way around the school playground. So that could leave them open to any other kind of...
Andrea, you need to call the police, because if Facebook aren't going to do anything about it, from what we've heard from Stefan and from Francine and from Mike, I think it was our previous caller, they will do something.
Yeah, the police have just told me that basically all they will do is ask me to report it to Facebook, and I've done that, and it's been several days and I've heard nothing.
Not good. Not good enough either. Andrea, thank you. God, that's a depressing conversation. Anyway, we're going to lighten the load after the break when we find out what else you ladies keep in your knicker drawer aside from your knickers. All the vital questions on this show. The responses have been amazing. Is there something reassuringly private and secure about your underwear drawer that makes you want to stash stuff there? Not at all, judging from the tweets and Facebook comments I've seen thus far. Lila Burke keeps receipts and Summer's paraphernalia, a bat, a knife, and some comedy club tickets in her drawers. A bat? Doesn't he get hungry? What about you? 0207 173 5555. That's the number you need. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
4% of women hide what else in their knicker drawer? Sweets, vibrating electrical items, or gin? Find out after this short break.